Hi everybody, it's Julie. Welcome to Hello Monday. Today I'm going to be creating this really sweet card which was inspired by a gorgeous bowl that I had seen on Pinterest. This porcelain bowl had these little birds on a telephone wire and they were highlighted in gold and the telephone lines were a deep rich blue, and I just thought of this stamp set from the Felicity collection by Pink Fresh Studio the minute I saw it, and I thought, oh my gosh, I have to make this card. So I'm going to take some 140-pound watercolor paper, smooth side up, and I'm going to anchor it down to my clipboard here with some painter's tape that I've neutralized against my arm. This will make it easier to remove later on, and I'm not using the tape to mask anything. I just wanted to keep my paper flat on my work surface. So now I'm going to take some clean water and a flat brush and just kind of make some washes there across the surface where I want my sky to go. And I didn't put water over everything. I just put it in the area where I wanted the sky. And then I'm going to take some Distress Stain in Tumbled Glass and apply that directly over the top because I wanted a diluted, washed out color. And then I'm going to use my paintbrush and some water to just kind of manipulate that color around until I'm satisfied. And then once I have what I want, I know it's going to dry a little bit paler than what you see here, and it may be a little bit hard to pick up on camera. So I'm going to heat set that with my heat gun because I do want to move on and add some more watercolor, and I don't want to disturb my sky here. So now I'm going to take some this is broken china, and I'm going to brush that directly to the paper, not wet, just directly to the paper there where I want kind of the grounding in my card design. And then I'm going to take the paintbrush and add a little bit more water. I wanted some paint strokes kind of going across, and I wanted to refine the edge there along the top a little bit more. So just doing my little manipulations there with some water and the paintbrush, and then I can come back in and heat set that part so I can keep moving with the card. So now I'm going to take Ranger's Archival ink. This is cobalt, and ink up my birds on a wire with this color. This is a nice deep rich blue, and go ahead and stamp that kind of in about the upper third of the card just to kind of keep that balance of thirds going across the whole design. And this gave me a nice impression, and then I'm going to go ahead and remove the tape. Now when you remove tape like this, you want to pull it back on itself as you're peeling it away, which will help prevent you from marring the surface of your paper. So I'm going to trim this down, which is why it didn't matter that the watercolor had seeped a little bit under the edges of the tape. And I'm using a new Fiskars trimmer that I absolutely love. I love the redesign that they did on the metal bar and that the blades do not pop out. It cuts very straight and evenly. The only thing they need to do now, come on Fiskars, is produce Teflon blades for it, and then it will probably be my new favorite trimmer. And so once I'm done trimming this out, I'm actually going to bring in the sentiment. And I hadn't thought really what I wanted it to say until I got to this part, and I decided to use another stamp set called, I think it's called Good Sayings, also by Pink Fresh Studio. I just love them, and I think they go well with so many other stamp sets in my collection, and they're just fun, and the font work is really sweet and happy and uplifting. So I'm going to grab one of the sentiments from here, Don't Ever Quit Your Daydream, and ink that up with some cobalt again and stamp that on the horizon line that I have here down below. I thought it would just be a good spot for it. And then I'm going to take my Quickie glue pen, and I've zoomed in a little bit here so you can see that I'm just trying to apply the Quickie glue pen, which has a really fine ballpoint nib, over the birds. I don't want to get any of it on the leaves or the wires there that are going across. I just want to coat the birds with this glue pen. And you want to let it go on. It will go on milky and blue, and then you want to let it dry completely so that it's tacky. It will then be clear. It will not be wet. You don't want it wet at all for the next step. You just want it tacky, and it will have kind of a matte finish. It won't be glistening wet looking anymore when you get to the next stage, because we're going to apply some of that transfer foil over the top. So I've taken a piece of foil and cut it to go across the whole image there to coat all my birds. I'm going to place that carefully over the birds, that tacky glue, and burnish a little bit with the pads of my fingers, not anything hard. Or even my fingernails. And then I sent it through my Big Shot. And because of the pressure the Big Shot applies, it kind of presses all that foil and allows it to transfer nicely and cleanly to the Quickie glue pen. The trick though is, like I said, you have to allow that glue to dry. If you don't, you'll have an epic fail. Ask me how I know. So now I'm going to take a base card. This is just Neenah Solar White, 110 pound, and I creased it along the fold line there with my Teflon bone folder. And then I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive on the back of my watercolor panel, and I'm going to mount it a little bit askew. And because I trimmed off a 1/4 inch all the way around, it allows me to take this really pretty gold glittery washi tape, which I absolutely love. It's nice and thin and you can tear it with your hands, and then apply that right where I want it. This is more decorative than it is functional. That's why I had a little bit of adhesive on the back of the watercolor panel. And here you can see how my little birdies are just perfectly foiled. This is just one of my favorite tricks with the Quickie glue pen, the Big Shot, and those fun transfer foils. All the supplies are available at ellenhutson.com, and I have more still shots and details at the Classroom blog. Thanks for watching.